I'm architect. I'm only architect in the world making building out of paper, like this cardboard tube. And this exhibition is the first one I did using paper tube, 1986. Much longer before people start talking about ecological issues and environmental issues. I just started testing the paper tube in order to use this as a building structure. It's very complicated to test the new material for the building, but this was much stronger than expected, and also it's very easy to waterproof, and also because it's industrial material, it's also possible to fireproof.
Shigeru Ban, the innovative humanitarian. Shigeru Ban is possibly one of the most innovative and resourceful architects working today. His works don't just include innovative designs, but entirely new processes to work basic usable materials into quick temporary shelters for relief and aid. Ban was born August 5, 1957 in Tokyo, Japan. He was first exposed to architecture in the 9th grade when one of his assignments was displayed as the best in the school for his design of a house, and with this his attention began to shift onto architecture. His passion continued through high school and into his time at Tokyo University of the Arts. While he was at Tokyo University, Ban came across an article on his future mentor, John Hayduk, entitled Paper Architect. The writing prompted him to leave Tokyo and go to the United States. After Tokyo University of the Arts, Ban studied at South California Institute of Architects and then at Cooper Union School of Architecture, where he studied under his mentor, the aforementioned John Hayduk. In 1984, he received his Bachelor of Architecture. After graduating, he left the United States and traveled to Europe. In 1985, Ban started his own practice without any work experience. During this time, he developed a style known for its blend of traditional Japanese architecture with elements of American modernism, according to Britannica. He began to be recognized for his use of paper tubes in both the structure and design of his work. For years he worked on many different case studies. He organized and designed the installation of other people's exhibitions. He also worked on housing, railroads, and factories. And then, in 1994, Ban's exposure to the horrors people faced in other countries occurred, and he began the first of his many humanitarian actions. In 1994, Shigeru Ban learned that 2 million refugees from the Rwanda Civil War lived in horrible conditions. He proposed to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to make shelters using paper tubes, and he was hired as a consultant. Though this was the first effort he made towards helping these refugees and others, the versatility and worth of the inexpensive tubes were first proved to the world in 1995 following the January 17th Kobe earthquake that devastated the Kobe area in west-central Japan. Ban said, "I believe that the material doesn't need to be strong to be used to build a strong structure. The strength of the structure has nothing to do with the strength of the material." He consistently uses paper not only in the cheap temporary housing he made for refugees and disaster survivors, but also in many of his other works. Some of Ban's most influential works were the paper log houses in Kobe, Japan, Turkey, and India, the paper bridge in France, and the Centre Pompidou, Metz. The paper log houses were first made in Kobe in the wake of the Great Hanshin earthquake for the people who lost their homes. The paper log houses were modified for new conditions in Turkey in 2000 after a devastating earthquake. In 2001, after India suffered an earthquake, the houses were made once more. The 3 different places that it has been built is a testament to the flexibility of the design. During a time of devastation, his houses gave people much-needed refuge. In Kobe, the foundations were made with beer crates loaded with sandbags. The walls were made of 4mm thick paper tubes with tent cloths for roofs. The cost of the materials for one 52 square meter unit is below $2,000. For Turkey, the paper log house unit size was 3 by 6 meters, which was due to the standard size of plywood. They had more insulation and fiberglass ceilings. India's log house had several variations to the original design. Because of the earthquake, large amounts of rubble from destroyed buildings were everywhere, so they were collected and used for the foundation. The walls were coated with mud and the roof was curved and covered with split bamboo, then layered to repel water. These buildings did more than provide people refuge. They allowed people to feel safe during a horrible experience, and the practicality of their design that conforms to the environment and is adaptable is just amazing. The paper bridge was built in Vers-Pont-de-Garde, France in 2007. It is 20 meters wide, stretching across the Gardon River, and is made up of 280 cardboard tubes with a thickness of almost 20 millimeters. Even the steps are made of recycled plastic and paper and can support the weight of 20 people. It has been disassembled and reassembled during summers. Centre Pompidou Metz was completed in Metz, France in 2010. It covers a 5,000 square meter area, and the hexagonal design is based on a Chinese hat. The $57 million museum has become one of France's most visited cultural venues. It has a large central spire that reaches 77 meters, and the curved roof is made up of laminated timber arranged in a hexagonal form. It's a branch of Pompidou Art Center Paris and features permanent and temporary exhibitions from the France National Museum of Modern Arts collection. For his work, he attained the Japan Institute of Architects Prize for Best Young Architect in the year 1997. This was his first award and paved the way to his successful future in architecture. When he started his practice in Japan, it wouldn't have gone nearly as well had he not been known for that award. He also attained the highly coveted Pritzker Award, recognizing him for his incredible contributions throughout the world in architecture. Band's involvement in disaster relief has not diminished. He also lectures and teaches, and continues to develop new material and structural systems.